It is a scorcher today. The humidity is humidifying. There's a little hint of a breeze that came in that I was really grateful for. It's hotter out here than I thought it was. That's the thing when you're somewhere where there's the humidity factor. You know, you think you're dealing with one temperature until you get stewing a bit. And then you realize it's a lot hotter than you thought it was. Okay, this is the energy coming in for the collective. I thought I'd do a little cartomancy with the shadow light deck and just see what's kind of hanging out in the atmosphere there. Do a little energy read for the collective. You may be feeling that a situation is a little bit hotter than you expected, or somebody connected to you is feeling that way. They may be feeling like it's getting hot in here, man. And I feel that has multi-layered tones to it. Okay. Some could be feeling like, you know, I hear the cicadas going off there. Yeah. I mean, they might be sending out a mating call, picking up the pheromones. They might be wanting to get it on before it all comes to naught. I mean, do I still have a shot? Somebody may be wondering if they still have a shot with you, collective. Okay. It's interesting. I just looked across the way and there's a store here. The storefront's name is Storm. It makes me think of Marvin Gaye. There could be a quiet storm brewing, you could say, something bubbling beneath the surface. I am getting sort of like these tinges of a shape-shifty energy here, I have to say, because we did have in the crossing position the Joker sort of flew out of the deck, okay? Joker's gone wild. Joker's about to go wild. It's not girls gone wild, it's Joker's gone wild. Why so serious? You know, hey, I know it's the time of Sirius, the dog star, but, you know, why must I be like that? Chase the cat. Nothing but the dog in me. The energy's kind of playful, which is good. Okay, because there is a lot of heavy downloads coming in right now. There's a lot of heavy stuff. It's really hard to just sort of drop in and bob on the surface with this energy at this time. I'm sure you're all feeling that. I'm sure life is taking on a little bit different of a tone. You're having some kind of unusual experiences. It's par for the course. Those are going to increase. Expect more and more of that. The veils between the worlds are really ceasing to be a factor as more people come on board, you know. Even when I was walking today, I saw a little doorway into the underworld in the roots of a tree. It was in the shape of a doorway and it had not been there before. And there's been some interesting experiences I've been having when I've been out and about, little things I'm noticing that I didn't notice before. So be alert. Somebody may be alert to you, to your presence, to your energy. You may be alert to someone else's energy. You're picking up the frequency. It's familiar to you. Okay, let's dive into this. I'm going to go ahead and actually get some cards. That's just sort of like the initial energy read of the situation. Oh, we do have a message coming in here. It looks like a little bit of a turn of luck here. Something that puts a little skip in your step when maybe you'd been dragging your heels a bit. Some of you have gotten too bogged down in the daily grind, too bogged down at work. Things have become a little bit boring. All right. I think that this message like gives a little lift, makes you feel like, okay, this I can get kind of excited about. So I like this energy here. And I think it's a go. I think you're going to go for it. You're not going to turn down this invitation. There might be somebody hanging out here, though, that doesn't want you to take this invitation. They're kind of like sitting, stewing on the sidelines. Yeah, they're not happy about this coming in for you. We're not going to give this character too much attention here. I think there was an attempt to try to get in the way of this, a little trickery and subterfuge that got outed here. Yeah. Star-crossed lover heading for disaster. They took a lifetime on the morning after Lindy's party. The band The Bolshoi might be significant for someone here. The name Lindy. Okay. It's just supposed to be a fun night, man. It wasn't supposed to be forever. That's what I'm hearing. Okay. Someone's a joker. Someone plays a little too flippantly with people's hearts. It breeds a lot of contempt, but it's weird. I'm picking up like a masculine here. It could be a feminine too. Actually, yeah, it could. I think it could be a pair that are like this, actually. That's what I'm picking up. And they have a way of kind of like, enticing or stirring people up and people get in their feels real fast. And then, the next thing you know, there's like conflict and there's drama. But, the one who kind of like stirred up the emotions is sitting there like shrugging their shoulders like, what did I do? I don't know what the problem is, man. But I think that there's something here about a recognition that somebody has deep feelings and maybe using that to one's advantage, which isn't a cool energy. I don't like that. Okay. Don't be cruel to a heart that's true, man. Don't play with people's hearts. That's effed up, man. You F around like that, you will find out down the road, usually, you get a taste of your own medicine. That's the way it usually goes. That could be that storm that's brewing. You might be getting a taste of your own medicine. Okay. I don't know why I was drawn to this number here. Let me break it down numerologically. Breaks down to 21, the world. Yeah, something's being wrapped up here. Something's on the move, despite how much somebody wants it to stay fixed. Somebody may have tried to fix the situation. They may have laid some roots on a situation. I'm going to make sure you're not going anywhere. I don't want you to go, man. I don't think it's working. Somebody may have decided they wanted to lift that if they put that in place. This is what I'm hearing. Somebody may have lifted a working. They may have passed aside one of their false adornments. They're seeing something more clearly. It was a total eclipse of the heart, but now they got a clearer view. Smart move for who that speaks to. Good call on that. There's a way forward for you too. All right. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of defenses up in this situation. I do feel like there's been a lot hurt in this situation. I do feel like there's been arrows slung. I do feel like there's been poison darts slung. I do feel like it's been excessive, okay? And this is not an energy that was up front about like whatever feed that had. This is an energy that's like, I'm going to work hidden, I'm not going to be real about what I'm really feeling here. And this created sort of this can be a way that people can create a binding in a situation even without doing or working, because if you're keeping stuff hidden, then that's a way to have external control in a situation. Keeping people in the dark is a way to have control in a situation, and it is a way to manipulate and bind others. But see, here comes the illumination of what's been really oppressive, what's been a burden. The illumination's coming here. And it's freeing somebody here from what was fixed, and it is freeing someone from a particular conflict. This opens up more options, actually. To finally see through a certain facade, though it's initially maybe a little bit destabilizing, it makes one feel like some kind of power's been taken out of their hands, may have someone feeling like they want to get control of the situation real quick. I feel like that's very rapidly turned around, and one's presented with sort of being the orchestrator of what's rolling out, having a recognition that, well, I was working my path that way, or I did that working back there, or I was keeping things hidden so I could see how that kind of worked that person, or I didn't come up and out with what I was really feeling. And so that caused people to make assumptions. You know what happens when people assume. And then the next thing you know, things got a lot deeper than I was expecting. And suddenly I discovered that I was a player. I was playing with somebody's heart. I was manipulative. And I do think there is somebody here that's coming to that recognition. It's like they're owning it. And maybe they weren't seeing that before. They're owning it. And with the 8 hearts here, they're like, okay, I'm getting the memo. I need to maybe head off on my own for a little bit. Somebody may be having the recognition that they seek too much outside of themselves. They seek too much for the approval of others, to the extent that they give themselves away. People don't often look at that the way that that's a form of manipulation too, to make oneself indispensable. I'll bend over backwards for you. I'll just take it and take it and take it and take it because my love is that deep. I mean, when we martyr ourselves, that's also a form of manipulation. Okay. So I think people are getting down. It feels like people are getting down to some real nitty gritty, like the good stuff, man. I mean, it's so like gnarly when you're moving through it, but honestly, it's the best. Oh my God, it's the best. Yeah, why don't you trip like I do? That download's coming in. All right, I'll have to put a link to that. That download's being activated right now. I brought that in a while back. I think somebody wants you to get a different view, or you want somebody to like kind of trip out with you for a bit. You know, see things from your perspective might help them understand why you can't go back to a certain arrangement, or why you don't want to take a particular opportunity, or maybe just for a recognition that you're not the same person you were. And I mean, thank goodness for that. I mean, it would be horrible if you hadn't grown at all, if you hadn't evolved, if you were still doing the same things you were doing back there. I do feel like in a lot of cases, this is related to a situation where there's like a passage of time. It's been a minute now. I'm hearing like a lot of songs coming in. Somebody really loves music. Somebody gets a lot of their downloads around music. They'll tune in on the radio and they'll let the radio give their predictions about how things are going to roll out with that person that they can't shake. This is really coming up. Very strong, like love vibes I'm picking up here. Yeah, it is. It's about love vibes here. How can two find the way through? How can two find the way through? Is it really all lost? Like somebody's wondering that. Or can I play roulette? Can I give that wheel one more spin? Can I give that wheel of fortune one more spin? I don't know. Can you? It reminds me of when I was in 6th grade. I had a teacher, Miss Lavada de Korea, and she used to never let us say, can I? Because she'd always give that response. Well, I don't know. Can you? May I? May I give it another spin? That's kind of a very nice way, actually, to ask somebody, may I? It's respectful of where somebody else may be at, not just making an assumption. And just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of that energy coming in there. Interesting. I mean, I think I have to be honest here with this 9 of hearts coming up in reverse in the shadow. I think somebody just wants to hit it again. That's what it's coming out as. Okay, maybe more than once. Somebody wants to hit it again. That's what I feel here. That's what would make them happy. This is somebody who wants some sensual gratification for sure. That's the reason for the communication. All right. It's also the reason for the lack of communication too. I feel like it's a little bit of both. Like I feel like somebody's wanting to communicate, but at the same time, there's hesitation around it. They don't know if they have the strength to kind of like unravel maybe what went on between you in the past. There's almost like there's a recognition here that it could be problematic. They may not have what it takes. They may they may have what it takes for a good time, but they can't promise you tomorrow. Like, it is how it's coming through. It is. It is. And they know that if they were upfront about that, like, you'd be like, hell no. Hell no. I ain't gonna let you hit it, man. I see that. Yeah, somebody's really like in their heart in this situation. Queen of Hearts. Somebody's in their heart. Somebody doesn't want hit it and quit it. Somebody doesn't want to be a place card holder. Somebody's had enough of that. Somebody actually would prefer to just be self-fulfilled than to deal with that. That's sort of the energy that's coming in with that Queen of Hearts. She's totally eclipsed her heart. She's battened down the storm hatches. Yeah, somebody here leads with their heart. They're not going to want that. I feel that. They're not going to want that. That's how it's coming through. No, this person is very independent energy right now. Whoever this is, whoever is being considered here. Should I approach this person? Should I talk to this person? May I give it another spin? This kind of energy, it is coming in with that sort of South Node energy, but somebody's been doing the work. There may have been a time, I do feel like there may have been a time when this person would have been like, yes, I'm in it for the moment. I'm in it for the moment. It would have made them happy too. Okay. But I feel like something's really changed here. Something shifted here for this person. Yeah, look at it. They would rather be alone. They would rather sacrifice that than be like somebody on the side or somebody who's a placeholder, somebody just like sort of take up the time until this person, you know, really gives their heart to another. And when I mean give the heart, I don't mean like you lose your heart in the process, but really like give over your heart to the experience. Somebody's tired of defenses. They don't want to deal with that action anymore. Now you could be feeling this way, or somebody else could be feeling this way about you. And you can place it where it fits too. It could even be with somebody that you have a real deep heart connection with. I mean, certainly that could be with a platonic friend. That could be with somebody that you go way back with. That could be with somebody you consider soul family. Discover, learn, and play. I just heard that may have been something that got in the way. It may have been something that got in the way. Huh. There could have been a person connected in that way that got in the way of whatever this is. I do think you're discovering something here. You're learning about something, maybe about the way somebody was kind of playing a little bit of a game here. I can feel that energy. But I also feel like you're ready to, you know, discover new games. You know, you want to have fun. That's what I feel. I don't think you want this stuff. You're ready to meet new people. You're ready to have new experiences. You're ready to connect with people who don't feel the need, you know, to operate like that. Okay. What is somebody discovering here about that connection? And then maybe it's playing a role in this situation. So it's interesting the way that came in. You might have had to get up from a certain table here because of something you discovered, or you may. 6 of Diamonds. In order for you to feel balanced within yourself, like something feels like it was out of balance because of the situation with another person connected here. What is this? It could be somebody is free of a connection, or they've moved on from a certain friendship, relationship, association, but they're not sure if the other person is. be something that's like complicating about that, or they may have left a romantic relationship and they're wondering if the other person is free, if the other person is single, or if they're still connected to somebody, or if there's somebody else in the picture. There's a question here about, is there somebody else in this picture? 9 of Hearts. Related to a Queen of Diamonds. So this could be considered like the committed partner of somebody. Somebody has their eyes set on this person. It could also be somebody that they work with, somebody they're attracted to at work, but they're not sure if this person's available or not. It could be somebody they work with. They're kind of wanting to cross the line, but they're not knowing if that's appropriate, if it will compromise things. In some cases, it's a matter of seniority. Like somebody could be somebody's boss. They're wondering if it would be like a complicating situation. If people found out, they're worried about some kind of conflict here, some kind of drama. This may be somebody wanting to approach an individual for like a more sort of clandestine arrangement as well, because they're worried about what will happen if certain people find out. Why? Oh, because they don't want to lose the money, honey. Somebody here gets some kind of financial benefits from an arrangement. So certainly it could be on the job, but it could also be because they are married, right? And they don't want to give up that stability. They don't want to give up the financial foundation of that. And so they're trying to convince to keep it quiet. You may be wondering if somebody's in a relationship, if they're available, or if it's somebody that you work with. You may be afraid like you have to step away from your job or something. Yeah. There is a desire not to get caught up here with the 8 of Spades. So that's why this person's in their head, whoever they are, if it's you or somebody else, doesn't know what to do. All right. Well, any final thoughts on this, Spirit? What's the guidance for the collective in relation to this situation? I mean, obviously, until whoever it is like opens up and reveals their intentions, they're not going to know. That's one of those things. It's like you can't control the flow, man. I mean, you're just going to have to take the risk and find out. There's always one way to find out. Or you can stay up in your head and, stress yourself out over something that may just be like, you may be fearing something that's just like a storm in a teacup. You might be making a bigger deal out of it than it is, or they may be making a bigger deal out of it than it is. I feel like it's dualistic. There's some people here in this collective that you're the person thinking of taking a particular action and you're hesitating because of these reasons. And for others of you, you're on the receiving end of this, okay? In terms of signs, we have earth and water is what came out. Okay, so far, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. So these characters could be involved. I mean, I think ultimately somebody's going to decide to go ahead and go for it. They want to open up this line of communication. They want to open up this road of exploration. They want to see what's possible. I think right now, whoever this character is, whether it's you or somebody else, they're considering right now how to make this move, how to broach the subject. Okay, I'm going to get a cut of the deck to cap this off. I mean, I think whatever this is, it will be successful as soon as whatever this foundational matter is addressed. Okay, so if somebody's in the process of like leaving a relationship or wrapping up a marriage, or they're in the process of maybe transferring to another department, or they're going to go and work somewhere else. I think once that is complete, there can be an opportunity for moving forward. But it looks like right now, it's just an opportunity to sort of like open up a line of communication here. I see somebody hasn't completed something. It's not done yet. They're still processing something. It even could be that they're processing some kind of heartbreak or something they've been letting go of. Somebody's not ready to be in like discovery mode. They're not. They're not ready to get a seat at the table. Somebody is sorting through some stuff. I think somebody's bringing something to a close, and they may be considering this right now, but for some reason it's wanting to come up on the radar. I think ultimately it will be successful, but not until something's wrapped up, and that's what's coming through. And so you know what you need to do. I mean, all this energy came on the more like kind of deep dive, astrological, more spiritually oriented download that came in last night about this Stargate is coming in with Lionsgate and its full passage, which is going to take a year until we arrive at the official culmination point of the Stargate with that total 8 energy signature that comes in next year on 8/8/2026. So there's a process now that's kicking off. There's a process that's unfolding here. I feel like it starts out individually, though. It feels like there's maybe star mates that are meeting here. And individually, they have things that they need to wrap up. I don't feel like that's just an external process, but I also feel like it's something that is very much going on internally, too. There's something about needing to go through a certain personal evolution here before one is ready to kind of get back in the game, so to speak. Somebody is doing a lot of deep diving into the heart space, doing a lot of purification in the heart space, clearing out all the heavy stuff. So they can refine this chakra, and they can reclaim that heart of gold, that is ready to open up again. I feel like just the beginnings of opening up is occurring here. Is that what's happening here? One more round here. So that's is that what's happening here, Spirit? Is somebody starting to alchemize the pain of the past and just starting to get to the point of maybe being willing to open their heart again? Is this what's going on here? I think there's been a lot of like intellectualizing this, whatever this is. It could also be, I'm seeing this as well, kind of a side note, especially for those of you that really resonate with that, where you feel like I'm not in the space where I'm even open to uniting in a romantic sense right now. I am picking up for those of you that are in that place where you're still in a process of healing. You could be the person that's being approached. You may really be wanting to switch up your work. And I see that does provide a real strong foundation for you. You might want your work to be more fulfilling or more in alignment with your heart. You may be looking to make some kind of change there. You're considering this right now. You should go for it. I do feel like it'll be very successful for you. And ironically, I feel like doing that brings you into your own essence. It's very empowering for you. It does create a certain kind of stability for you, not just materially, but also emotionally, spiritually. Like when you're doing something where your heart's really on board, that changes the whole scope of your life. And I do feel like as you pursue that, though it may not be like your initial intention, here come the cicadas again. Speaking of renewal, speaking of rebirth, and also like, let's get it on before it all comes to naught, man. It may lead you there. You know what I mean? It awakens something in you. It's like you get your mojo back. You get your mojo back, and then you're in a place where you are ready to let that in the appropriate timing. I think that's how that's coming through. Got the deck on that. Oh yeah. Look, it all comes up light. 6 of Diamonds, finding balance within yourself, working on the self, doing the work, tending to like just the day to day, really getting something sort of a rhythm going with something. I feel like would tending to your health, tending to your physical care, creating time to decompress, creating a nice balance with your work too, where it's not just all grind, no reward. I do feel like it will be really successful. It does open your road. It does get you moving forward. There's progress there. It brings you into personal alignment. And I do see you getting to that place where you're feeling good. You're looking good. You're back in your element. Also, it looks like finances are doing really well. And then it comes in, you see, you get the fulfillment with the 10 of hearts. So that is some kind of like big celebration, some kind of real good news too, some kind of coming together. So you might be getting a little bit of a foreshadowing of this. It might take some time for you to link up with this particular star mate here, whatever role they're playing in your life. And for some of you, it could be, somebody that's like playing one of those master maker roles. They're catapulting you. They're catapulting your work to like greater visibility. They're giving you some kind of sweet reward on the other side of all the heavy lifting you've been doing here. Okay. And I feel that applies across the board. This is somebody who makes your way easier. This is someone who, lifts your energy up. And when you bring your forces together, it's quite a pairing here. That's what I get. So I do feel like ultimately this comes to fruition. You might have more hints about this around October. Okay. So do look for the fall season to give more illumination in regard to this. Might be something that comes in around that hunter's moon. You might get more of a clear view about where this message is really focused. All right. Stay tuned.